Hello guys and welcome back, and it's time to get into the semi-final broadcast. It is Cruel versus eXoBLaZeR, and it seems like Mr. Adam himself has decided, hey, I can cast too, and co-casting me with for this one, it's gonna be Mr. DLSMIZEL. So Mr. Mizzle, how are you doing tonight? How's it feel to be talking on that mic during these broadcasts?
Hey man, pretty busy here, but I just want to contribute with the casting. So hello, guys.
I mean, we gotten so many people already dragged along in the casting. Might as well get Mizzle also on board.
Yeah.
So, let's gonna be looking into the maps already. Let's get all down to business immediately. We've seen Cruel and eXoBLaZeR face off before. These are basically two veterans of the scene. From the chat, they've been saying Cruel has been one of those Recta boys from all the way back, and he has shown he has a lot to offer really on that Terran. But it's a very tough task for anyone to face off against eXoBLaZeR. You can really say he's the tournament favorite of this one. Mr. Coach himself, Mr. Big Time, and he's playing that Protoss right now back to his roots and starting things off on Circuit Breakers. So we've been seeing Circuit Breakers for quite a while already, Mr. Mizzle. What do you think of the map, and what do you think is going to be the strategy between our two players?
Um, I actually don't know yet. But I believe I'm a Terran player, so every time I match up with Protoss, I always go for mech build. So that will be the same as what we saw before, like siege tanks and vultures to Goliaths and maybe science vessels.
Yeah, I think science vessels are very low-key helpful. They do have that EMP shockwave, which is really cool. You can go for the defense matrix if need be as well, if you do want to have a little more tankiness under your belt. But that EMP, I feel like it can be absolutely huge, and detection is so useful, especially something as mobile as the science vessel. But something to note, of course, is the gas cost of that. So we'll see if that is going to be the case here for Cruel. And meantime, for eXoBLaZeR, I'm still expecting lots of ground base units for him. It has exactly been his bread and butter and has been working out so far along the way. But anyway, it's time to get into the action, and it's time to get into this matchup. Best of 3 here and now, our semi-final between Cruel and eXoBLaZeR. Winner moves on to the grand finals. Loser will face off against the other side of the bracket in a third place match. So let's get into this one, Mizzle. It's time to move into Circuit Breakers. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and here we go! TVP action yet again, but we will have our boy Cruel on the bottom right with that red Terran 4 o'clock position to start things off against a very opposing opponent on the other side. He has been able to test against many strong players already throughout his bracket, his first match being the toughest one of them all. And honestly, here on the top right of Circuit Breakers, it's our Protoss at the 1 o'clock position, eXoBLaZeR, getting his tough test already from Bayagster, and moving on all the way to the semifinals here and now, really tearing a path against the competition and looking to beat out Cruel here on this map. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen, and let's get into the matchup. So Mr. Mizzle is honestly a first-time caster, and this is his first time in the foray. So let's make it simple, Mr. Mizzle. When I stop, you go, and we go with the show. Capiche?
Alrighty.
Alrighty,
So-
indeed.
Let's go. We, as expected, from our Protoss player, we will be going out for some scout. Now, how about you, Dax? How do you scout in maps like a 2v2 maps like this one? How do you scout? Do you do
No.
like diagonally or vertically?
I think diagonally is the most optimal one, because you do want to see the one that takes the longest first, just to make sure that the other sides you can really get the scouting a little quicker, trying to come back home. And since, if I remember correctly, in StarCraft Remastered and in lobbies in general, you can play top to bottom to make sure at least you have you're on opposite sides of the coin instead of the straightest, and so it seems like that is the case here and now. And if I remember correctly, that is part of our rule set, so you know, it makes it a lot easier to get the scouting on. And now eXoBLaZeR will be like, okay, I'm gonna go for the Nexus first again. Cruel scouts things out. He's gonna go for the racks first though before anything else, and maybe a few Marines here and then might be able to get the punishment against our Protoss on the other side.
Yeah, that's a very early Nexus. What do you think he will be doing? Like
Oh,
rush
oh
Dragoons
my
again
god.
and stuff?
Look at this though. Cruel
Yeah,
noticing the Nexus, and he's gonna
his
be
first
like, okay, you're going for money, and I'm gonna go kill you right here, right now. He's looking to bring in some SCVs just in case he does need to keep the repairs on, as well as keep this SCV building up alive already. The SCV winning out the fight, 60 HP versus 40. Advantage there to the Fusion Cutter. Hold their particle beam right now, though. From the probe eventually get that takedown, but this
there we
bunker is
go.
almost online. And the real question here and now for Blazer is when is he gonna get units up and running? But he isn't gonna go for Zealots as of yet. And it seems like this Nexus point is almost done and ready to go. Will this be a cancel of that last minute? That's the real question here. And no, the Nexus will be warped on in. And this is a desperate second base defense already from Blazer.
Yeah, we're looking at. This is very familiar to me. I also do this in StarCraft 2. So like, usually I do proxy rafts and then Marines.
That's SCVs brought into the fold. That's just a big pull, and honestly, a huge punishment here from Cruel. I feel like he's been watching a few of the VODs here and there and realizes if Blazer goes for that Nexus first, the best way to really keep the hamper on is set up this bunker. And this has to hurt Blazer. He didn't go for the cancel. He lets his Nexus die, and Cruel right now with a pretty commanding lead, but he might be overextending his reach, setting up both the supply depot as well as the factory here on the outskirts. Looking very dangerous right now though for Blazer. If he's unable to keep up with the economy, well, he is just going to get sealed off in one base, and that is going to be the show there.
This is a great move by our Terran player. Let's see how if he can pull it off until the end.
You know, Mr. Mizzle, sometimes the stinkiest of all cheeses is able to punish the stinkiest of all greed, and it seems like Blazer trying to run on away with the bank yet again, but Cruel right now setting up his whole base on the outskirts. I don't think this is the best idea though to put everything here. Honestly, I feel like he could have gone for the second match extend. He could have gone to keep things up on his own base, but still, the pressure will be applied, that's for sure. It can be vultures, it can be the siege tanks brought on in as well, but this machine shop is in a very dangerous location. If this gets spotted while producing that siege tank upgrade, well, that is going to get the shutdown pretty heftily. And on the other side, it's eXoBLaZeR right now going for the singularity charge. The Dragoon is going to be looking safe and sound to maybe poke at these SCVs later on.
That's correct. I agree with you. I should have just go macro instead of just trying hard to pull this off. But I think what's being produced right now.
I feel like it's just really a risky scenario, and we do see the siege tank and the siege mode on in here, Mr. Mizzle, but it will take a little bit of time, and with singularity charge looking to come online, well, this is going to be the outrage that the Druids are looking for. They're still going for the supply depot though. It seems like for Blazer, he's just trying to find a way to get the pokes on, and by this point in time, he will get the range upgrade, sees the siege shop, researching all of that. It might be a race against time here. Blazer is able to shut down the add-on. Well, he's gonna get maximum value on this defense, but on the other side of the coin, if Cruel is able to get the siege mode on in, it really is gonna pack a punch against these Dragoons. So here we go right now, looking for the snipe onto the add-on. Will it actually make it? Blazer trying to decide who's gonna go for the poke, and wants to go for the SCV first. It seems like the castle not gonna be in order, but Cruel will still need some siege tanks in behind all of this. If this bunker goes down and the siege tanks are siege moded on in, sure, it'll pack a punch onto the Dragoons into the front line, but at the same time, it still can be an overrun that eXoBLaZeR is looking for. Never mind all that though, siege mode is there, bunker is still set up and ready to go, and this is the Protoss now stuck on one base, playing the shuttle game instead to bring out a Ninja expansion.
I like how the Terran used the engineering bay to block the passage of the Dragoons, just to delay a bit and give time for him to get the siege mode on.
Yeah, exactly. And I do like the fact that it unlocks those missile turrets if need be. Get rid of those observers, getting rid of those Dark Templar if ever as well. And this is Cruel right now in a prime spot. His risk paid off. And even though we didn't agree with it initially, now he is in a solid spot to really choke at Blazer. But Blazer having a little more big brain in his head. The coach of the Philippine scene, the Philippine delegations, SC games for nothing. He is going to be having that probe right now, scouting around, looking to find the best place to set up shop and call it their new home.
There we go. Reaver. We're expecting some Reaver drop. Has he already scouted the base of the Terran?
I feel like here for Blazer right now, he is going blind, and exactly that. He knows something is amiss into the front line, and he'll be sending in a Dragoon as well. Absolutely ambitious play here from Cool, setting up a missile turret onto a potential third, and it really is just all about getting the detection as well as mitigating any shuttle play. But the Dragoon right now dropped. It's time to go for the cleanup here and now. Siege Tank though already brought out of position to try and really go for the hits, and this is BlaZeR taking advantage of the lessened firepower, going for the bills, going for the balls, and that is just a lot of damage being done, taking care of the Siege Tanks on the low ground.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. I think the engineering bay blocking the siege tank, like I think it backfired on him. I don't know, because he couldn't repair the siege tank a while ago.
That's true, that's true. It really is a little hard to get the click on, but eventually it will just happen. Attack from also doesn't really help in scenarios like that, so it really has to be micro on point. So let's now warp on in again. And more of these units now next on the list, but still this one siege tank really getting the poke onto that gateway. But on the bottom left side, it's BlaZeR right now setting up his second base with the opening position that could have been his, but wasn't.
Look at the lower right now at Cruel's base.
Ooh, 8 kills on that Reaver, looking for another one, and BlaZeR gonna get 10 kills actually on that Reaver. Absolutely huge. Cruel with the pull, too late to the party, and this is looking really dire here immediately for our Terran because he has no money in the bank, and this is the shuttle really giving chase. No reinforcements whatsoever, no time to build, and no time like the present to really finish off this game. Here comes more and more of those SCVs though brought on back, and this is just basically Cruel having to make sure everything is fine and dandy. Here go with the Scarab him though, another huge one, and another one. It's big bombs all around, and it turns into base race basically instead. Economy versus actually having something. Scarab giving chase, taking care of another SCV, and Cruel right now is on a home invasion spree because for the Terran, the best place to call home is basically where his opponent was initially set up on.
There we go. Since he's Terran, he can just always lift his command center. So I guess he can win this round, I guess.
It's still anyone's game, but Cruel from a commanding lead to actually having a pretty big Achilles heel. Now this is a lot of siege tanks, and there is no way that BlaZeR can really face off against this many tanks if set up properly. But on the other side of the coin, Cruel is making no money, and he has to wait either for this command center to make the long exodus to another mineral base line, or he's doing this right now, long distance mining with 5 SCVs. This is absolutely ridiculous how long this is gonna take.
Yeah, so it's pretty risky. This is what I'm talking about, if he can really pull it off. So it's high risk, high reward for him.
Noah's Ark. This is like just Noah's Ark. Or this is also basically the civilians being evacuated first. This is the Titanic. The base of eXoBLaZeR is the long ship, and it is just sinking on away. Women and children first. The probe is going to be getting on out, and the lone survivor is going to be Zealots, warriors till the end. They know that if they stay alive long enough, they can sustain. They can come back into another fight, into another life. But it's looking like to be an absolute tragedy instead. The probe is more essential in a regard like this, and he needs those minerals to keep up with that Scarab production. Cruel though is still keeping up with the long distance mining here, and now using those minerals to keep the repairs up on those siege tanks. And I feel like every little mineral that Cruel is wasting on repairs is gonna hurt him in the long run because he needs the time, he needs the money to build another command center if need be.
Yeah, so all the probes have been evacuated. eXoBLaZeR is economically okay right now. So I think we'll see. He only has one Nexus. He's about to lose his main base. So let's just see how if he can still survive this
Oh no, the shuttle does get spotted, and this might be a one-way trip. No, it really isn't gonna
Oh
make it to those
no!
zealots, and it's a last stand here now for eXoBLaZeR. Heroes till the end. He can really feel the tragedy, just the suffering of these zealots. But right here, right now, behind enemy lines, they are gonna be seeing the tanks creep on closer. But one thing to note is Cruel has to be wondering, why is this game not over yet? The pilot has gone down, the zealots are still going for the brawl, and it really is a kamikaze strike here and now from these claw bearers. That is just basically those side blades trying to get the hits. Eventually, they all go back to the Kala. But beyond all of that, Cruel still has absolutely no money in the bank, and the best thing eXoBLaZeR can do right now is get the Templar Archives and go for
Yeah.
DT.
DTs. Here we go. Two gateway DTs.
But oh my god, finally, Cruel has decided, you gotta lift him up sometime, and you gotta go for a journey. You're going on a trip in our favorite rocket ship, and this is the command center right now, transferring locations. I think I should change the overlay here, Mizzle, because we do have our players on different spots.
Yeah. Sorry about that. So they migrated from their original base, and now our Terran player is looking for eXoBLaZER's second base now, or
There's
perhaps
no
his main base, his new
Yeah,
main
his
base.
new main base. It's been there for so long, honestly. We mentioned it before when the probe actually got into the shuttle. As soon as we saw Cruel play the engineering bay with the siege tank, it has already been spotted that it's been up and top. But you gotta build tempo sometimes. You gotta build a crescendo here and there. But beyond that, now it's just basically for eXoBLaZeR. He just wants to keep up with that DT. He wants to go for a few hits here and there from the shadows, because the biggest thing right now is Cruel needs to rebuild. It seems like he's back to square one, having those 5 SCVs, and he has to build from absolute scratch. Even though he has a lot of tech along the way, if played right here by eXoBLaZeR, he can actually win the outs with the defensive force of the Reaver, who has an absolute hero with 17 kills, and the DT getting in the way.
Yeah, this is going to be hard for our Terran player, most especially because he doesn't have the concept. So he won't be having the what do you call that again? That comsat station?
Yeah, there you go.
Having the
The
scans.
contact station.
He
Yeah, it
won't be
doesn't
having
have
the
the scans
scans.
whatsoever. It's not gonna happen anytime soon. Doesn't have the right tech for it. But on the other side, still the Dark Templar cleaning up a few his buildings here and there. Now we do see BlaZeR looking to scout out his old natural. Sees the Cruel has already set up there. But at the same time, that's just gonna be a missile turret for a Dark Templar. Not the first way to go, honestly, getting rid of that detection. Still, the engineering bay is set on up, and like we said, it's a bit of a reset here for both of our players. But Cruel does have a little bit of the advantage there with the tech in place, but eXoBLaZeR has taken the lead in terms of that economy. He saved his probes just in time, allowed him to get this DT, and in a scenario like this, Cruel needs to bunch up with the rest of the units he still has if he wants to stand a chance to hold the lines.
Yeah, so looking at the situation right now, eXoBLaZER has more workers, more minerals, more gas, and on the other side, Cruel has more army, I think, but it's not very effective with the composition of our Protoss player now.
Exactly, and this is a shuttle again, same old, and honestly, BlaZeR needs to be careful that this Reaper is alive. Here we go with the Scarab hits again, but the shuttle's a one-way trip, and goodbye to the little Caterpillar. Still, though, it's just the DT right now getting the snipes on. And eventually, they are just cleaning up house yet again. SCV's now pulled, eXoBLaZeR in prime spots to really keep up with the pressure, and he gets the second base on. Vulture spots out everything that's going on, and Cruel, this has to be his heart falling apart, seeing all of this set up by BlaZeR on the other side of the map.
Yeah, the Noah's Ark is down. So I think I do believe that our Protoss player has still an edge here, since he has the Dragoons and Zealots.
GG's called, very well deserved. Wins with economy, wins with the snipes, and victory goes over to eXoBLaZeR. Exactly what that game turned out into. And just seeing that shuttle go all the way on a majestic journey way back when. Really goes to show, you just wanna let it slide, let it be subtle, and in the end, it's just a victory there for our Protoss player. It really was just Blazer getting the substantial hits on the economy line, and Cruel unable to really stand up against his opponents. Right decision there for Blazer to save basically in terms of tech that Templar archives, get that DT on, get enough minerals, and unfortunately for Cruel, he wasn't able to scout things out. Really assumed that was the case there. And just the big brain plays again from Mr. Coach himself, eXoBLaZeR taking that one, and he is going to be the first one to get on the board in the semifinals. What do you think, Mizzle? What do you think that game was all about? How did Cruel really lose out in the end? Was it really just a matter of the economy line getting stifled, or was it something else along the way?
Um, I I think he just got too um too greedy. I think is it the word? Is the right word for it? I think he just pushed too hard. I mean, from the beginning, I agree with you that he shouldn't have just um put all his base inside of
All
Exo
Dude,
Blazers.
all
Yeah,
his base is belong
yeah,
to him
yeah.
exactly.
Everything there, so he couldn't defend his base alone.
And just not having enough units there. A little too ambitious, looking for the killing blow, and Blades are able to take advantage with absolutely well-timed Scarab and Reaver play, just finding the bombs on, and on the other side, again, does get that ninja expansion. Surprise, surprise! To Cruel. We saw that one coming. We saw it just like, it's like, I'm gonna go on a journey. I'm just gonna go here, and I am happy to be in this spot. But now we are gonna see a next map on the list, and that will be La Mancha actually. And Cruel needs to take this map if he does want to force up map number 3. But eXoBLaZeR with a victory there on Circuit Breakers in a very, very interesting fashion. And it's just really how these games have unfolded so far, Mr. Mizzle, and has been a interesting time here in the SCPH Brood War League. Now, what do you think has to be the adjustments now between eXoBLaZeR and Cruel? What do you think they can do better? I feel like Blazer making a big mistake there on keeping the Nexus alive, feeling a little too ambitious on his natural and really not really respecting the bunker rush there from Cruel. He tried to go for the zealots, it just wasn't enough, and it put him in a hole like that really made the game much perilous for him.
Yeah. Actually, didn't expect that Cruel will be doing that strategy. So, you know how great Exo Blazer is, right? So I think he was caught off guard. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's the beauty of StarCraft. You don't really know what other players will be doing the next move.
Exactly. But hey, it seems like we are ready to go to get into map number 2, and it will still be our Terran and Protoss facing off. And TVP, it really is just all about that mech versus Buyer in a sense, and really those spider mines becoming absolute MVPs. We didn't see that one though. Maybe we'll see it this time here on La Mancha. Let's move on into the map. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and here we already have Blazer with that 1-0 advantage. But starting things off on La Mancha, let's introduce our 2 players. On the bottom right at the 4 p.m. position, here we do have our blue Protoss, eXoBLaZeR. Wow, there's music now. Is that the newest part
Oh my
of our
god, who's
broadcast?
that?
Wow, it's music now. That's interesting. But on the other side, on the opposite end of the south side of La Mancha, on the bottom left, it's gonna be a white Terran instead. Cruel looking for some redemption. 7 p.m. Why is there music? Why is there music now? Bro, don't! Our VOD will get copyrighted. Bruh! No music like that, sir. Don't do that. But we have a pylon already being set up by our Protoss, of course, hugging close to the Nexus. Cruel in the meantime, having that extra supply, looking to go for those 10 SAVs before building up that supply depot that we can't even click because it's all the way on the bottom left of the map. Very, very tight spots here in the interface.
Yeah. So about this map, I think it's new, right? It
Mancha?
has this. Yeah, it has this. The center of the map is really interesting. It's like an interesting ground
It's a
for
windmill.
combat. Yeah,
It's
ground
a
to ground
windmill.
combat.
The thing about La Mancha though is just how it really unfolds, but I feel like I do see a lot of Terran mech having a good vantage point in many regards because of those clips. And this is a decade-old map, Mr. Mizzle. This has been a while already, 2010,
Oh,
2011. And something to note, got a comment there from Mr. Blazer that he did buy that Nexus up to buy some time. And wow, you know, it's I feel like it's really risky, but hey, if it works, it works. And 400 minerals of investment to really keep the space on. But hey, it worked out in the end in a very interesting way. I'd love to see though if, you know, if Cruel did play that a little more standard, but a win is a win, and very well played there to Blazer into game number 1. It was a very interesting maneuver, and this time though we might see more of a standard play as we get our 1 gate 1 forest set on up. 2 gates now looking to come online as well, and Dragoons again such as essential parts of shutting things down against the Terran.
yeah. So for the Terran, I think he's going for mech again since he got the gas early, and looks like eXoBLaZeR here is. I think he's not going for the second base early. I think.
He's just gonna be looking to get some scouting information first. He doesn't want to really commit as of yet, and he did go for the 2 gateway, so he doesn't have the money for it as of the moment. And with this Nexus having only 15 of these probes, basically he's gonna be looking to keep up with the economy, double pump out whatever unit he chooses. Probably gonna be those Dragoons before anything else. SCP right now gonna be spotting out those 2 gateways, and he might be anticipating some early aggression already from Blazer's end. The Marines in position onto the ramp. No natural bunker as of yet as well, so it seems like both sides staying on one base so far. But as I say that, SCV rolling on out, will it be the bunker in position here? Well, apparently not. It's out for the scouting instead.
I like you can really tell if the player is experienced or not. So if you look at eXoBLaZeR's base, the way he placed his cybernetics core beside the gas, that's really I mean, I don't know. I used to play Brood War, but like that exact pixel or like that exact position is hard to get, right? I don't know if you understand.
This is really cool actually how it sets up, but it does allow a degree of protection and basically make some funnels here and here. You're making walls. You're making sure that those vultures aren't going to be able to really get into those bigger openings into your mineral line, and it also makes you allows you to have specific funnels for your retreat if need be. So very smartly placed honestly by Blazer. We saw earlier on there was that match where there was like 5 gateways completely in the way, forcing things like the vultures to retreat, to rotate all the way on the other side. It's pretty much the same dynamic there, but Blazer right now gonna be by the bridge, looking to take control by the middle of the map. Now he goes for his Nexus, a little more on the safer side, but Cruel in the meantime, Marines and a siege tank gonna be going on the outskirts yet again. It's a patrolling army trying to just police the desert wastes.
Yeah, this is a strong push if he can pull it off again. So tank with Marines is really a good combination against Protoss.
Exactly. It really is just a few Marines here and there, and the siege expand is basically the safest way to go about it. But Cruel right now finally getting that command center on. It is going to be the racks relocating as well. They can go for a few reinforcements here and there if need be. But it's time for the road facility for our Protoss. A second Nexus almost done and dusted at the same time. Finally, we are gonna get that siege mode upgrade ready to go. And as we've seen so far in this tournament, when Cruel is left to his own devices and he can build exactly what he wants to build, all that mech in the world, all the upgrades that he wants to get, then he is in a really good spot to take a potential victory or two. This time the Cruel is a lot more paranoid. He sends a few vultures onto the north side, might be using that for a scout or two on that expansion that might be hidden away. But for BlaZeR, if he's able to play it standard, then he's gonna go for it, and he loves having those bases connected.
Yeah, that's a good scout for Cruel, but he will be losing some of his vultures. I think the dragoons, how he plays the dragoons, are really good because as Panda said a while ago, dragoons are very derpy units.
They have 360 vision now, basically, and they are in a line in a way that they're not really going to get super splash damaged on, but at the same time, at least they have that watch point feel onto them. I feel like here for Cruel, he's setting things up with the vultures, so he can put some mines onto potential expansions. But oh my god, BlaZeR! Hey, you know what happens in diagonals, guys? You can put bases that shouldn't exist there, and be like, surprise, surprise, I got something here. Now, Cruel has to be wary after losing out in that similar manner, and I would fully expect him to scout things out if BlaZeR does go to make a base here on the top left. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, that kind of thing. Engineering Bay now floated on up. We see 4 factories here and now from Mr. Cruel, and he's going to be pumping out vultures for like candy in Halloween.
Yeah, so in the meantime, I think this will be a long game. I think it will be a long match this round.
I still see that these are the Dragoons still in position in the middle, but hey, on the other side, still more and more of these mines vultures right now transitioning onto the eastern side, and basically Cruel is just looking to shut down any kind of potential expansion to begin with. This is still gonna be the vultures though, keeping things up with the pressure. They need to be careful of that splash damage, and eventually good Dragoon micro keeping things alive. Oh, it will still die at the field of duty. Could have been close, cutting it like that. Leg enhancements though coming online here for BlaZeR, and really trying to reinforce those gateway units with a Forge to boot.
Okay, so observers are coming out soon. Maybe this will give a bit of information to our Terran player.
Servers are absolutely essential, especially against all these Spider-Mans here now from Vultures. But these pros taking a little bit of a rest will get immediately knocked down by those fragmentation grenades. Meantime though, it's a bait and switch, all about the chase. And really, it's Cruel being so pesky into the middle line yet again. Wants to give the same kind of treatment against BlaZeR after such a reckoning from the first map. This time though, good peel play, the Dragoons are in position, and only a handful of probes go undying.
So nothing's happening yet on our top left base.
He just has it there.
Yeah.
He just has it there, man. I feel like he's either having a backup plan, or at the same time, if it gets scouted by Cruel, he might overreact in a way that, oh my god, he's gonna go for it again. Spider-Man still concentrating onto the Dragoon and really get the takedown. He would go one more time with the mines onto the bridge. It's just so hard right now for BlaZeR to really push on in with how Cruel is microing these vultures and how Cruel is setting up with the Spider-Man to begin with, anticipating movements, really getting in the way of adversity. And overall, good mobility from our Terran player.
Yeah. So our Terran player right now is upgrading his weapons for his mech units. So I hope that will give him an edge after this upgrade.
I'm really interested right now, Menzel. He is going to go for current boosters, basically increasing the range of the anti-air capabilities of the Goliath. And I feel like he wants to do that just so he can try to catch out those observers before really running into the bulk of fire from the Dragoons to begin with. Looking to play it safe and sound, looking to play a few Goliaths into the mist. But right now, it's Vulture time. Siege Daks also set on up, and this third base might go down in flames pretty much immediately. Pressure being applied by Cruel all throughout, and the eastern quadrant of La Mancha not looking the same whatsoever. Here comes the push though. The Dragoons trying to get in position. Siege Daks are still there. They're looking for a good focus fire, but the Spider Mines are in the way, and time for the brawl yet again. Like enhancement still online. The Sun's running on and getting in position to really touch those Siege Daks. Still no Blazer and Cruel trading blows, but it feels like the Terran will run out of members there.
That's a good defense by our Protoss player. Um, what do you think? What's the use of the missiles? Is it really for the observers, or maybe he's expecting for drops or carriers?
I mean, it can be those drops as well, but honestly, by this point in time, you don't really need that upgrade. It's just very, very interesting. You usually get that when you do see the first carrier come in line. You start macroing up and with the Goliaths, get a critical mass, and look for the shutdown A-move kind of situation instead. But here and now, it's Cruel again, getting into the middle line, forcing the Dragoons to really go back all the way to that main base. And beyond all of this, it's a trade right now. Save your main base, but lose the expansion. Seems like eXoBLaZeR has made his decision, and Cruel is here to collect.
Yeah, that's actually a good trade for the Terran player. At least he got a glimpse of the main base, so at least he's aware now that he won't be expecting like air units.
Absolutely, but still all about Dragoons right now. Cleaning up those spider mines, and this is a lot of vultures yet again. The pain train has not stopped whatsoever, courtesy of Cruel, and he's keeping up with the pressure, keeping up with those mines, and I feel like he is having a pretty decent economy to boot. He still is on 6 factory though. You might want to go for a 3rd command center sometimes too to really keep up in that economy, but hey, still vulture reinforcements. Make sure that these Siege Daks are set and done. Dragoon right now gonna get blown up yet again. Battle of the Mines as well as the motorcycles versus those walkers. It seems like eXoBLaZeR is basically trading out Dragoon for Vulture. Might not be the best trade though, as it is a different cost for different units.
Exactly. So this is what we're This is what we're actually expecting. The use of the ramps that will really an advantage for our Dragoons.
Yeah, it really is king of the hill basically. If the Dragoons get in position, well, they'll be able to get a hit from the above. But at the same time, if Siege Daks are ready to go on this high ground, there is a kill zone waiting to happen at eXoBLaZeR's doorstep.
That's a really good position. All he has to do now is like turtle. Leapfrog his stance, maybe.
29 Crystal versus 34. Advantage right now for eXoBLaZeR, but it is such a good kill zone right now. High Templar trying to get that Psionic Star, but these are very, very mobile units. And there you go with the Goliath showing on up with that missile upgrade. Everything dying into the front line. eXoBLaZeR cannot keep up with the pressure, and Cruel collapsing literally on his opponent. Still though, can't be anyone's game. A lot of Dragoons now reinforcing the place though. This is still just based all about trying to survive, while Cruel in the meantime coming closer and closer, pushing on forward and really bringing in the hammer to just toil on down with the siege mode.
That's a big loss for our Terran player.
Once again, set on up, and there we go with the dance of the spiders. The ECPH spider went out the water spout again. Really is these Dragoons right now forming in those puddles to begin with. Dragoon after Dragoon dying left, right, and center, everywhere and anywhere onto our screen right now. And these units are trying to survive, but it's just not gonna happen. Eventually though, they do burst down through the reinforcements and they get rid of that last tank to begin with. For the time being, that is.
Yeah, so as you can see right now, Cruel is trying his best to put pressure on BLaZeR, but he is lacking resources, maybe. I think he should have been expanding his 3rd base right now, I think.
It's a little difficult right now for Cruel because he is going on that 2 base. He has 6 factories that aren't really doing everything all at once. A very interesting 3Q there on one of the factories along the way, but still map control in favor of the Terran. Look how much he's been able to creep, especially with those mines in position. Anyway, on the top left, so all about the Protoss. Finally
There
syncing
you
things
go.
up. Man, Sunny is syncing things up with the Nexus point.
That's
Anyway,
right.
though,
So
yep. Go ahead,
so
so.
yeah. So I hope Cruel should have patrolled his Terran Marine on the upper left. So at least he would know if eXoBLaZeR is going to expand there or not.
Oh my god, though, but everything is dying in the front line. Blazer trying to get a push on, but with the fortifications, with the artillery in position, the only thing Cruel can do right now to mess up is to not shut down a base like this. Does he actually know, though? Does he know that the base is here? Seems like it's not the case. The Marine is in position, though, looking to be a little paranoid after everything that's happened so far.
So in production right now is DTs. So I think it's good that he's building turrets not only to kill the observers but also to expect DTs.
Alright, detection is huge, and with the observer going down, Blaze of chances might come up in smoke here. Doesn't want to really push into Dark Archons to begin with.
Upgrade now is going live for his first, I think that's level 1 upgrade for his ground units. And here we go, our DTs.
Maybe looking to try and get position there. We go with the scan already. This is not happening here for eXoBLaZeR as Cruel moving over to that national. Look at all these units from eXoBLaZeR. The hiding on the eastern side, but it's just not panning out whatsoever. No drop play whatsoever. Observer seeing exactly everything that's going on, and it seems like our foresights just gonna be all about looking to foresee the future. And on the Protoss side, it might be a mass extension on this map.
I think Cruel got this round. He went for mech. He leapfrogged his tanks properly, so I think he can win this round.
Exactly. He is just going for the chokehold, and eXoBLaZeR trying to survive. So 21 to 29 workers with most of that on the army, though. Really goes to show who's going to be able to get damage and what. Anyway, Probe gets caught, my friend. It's not looking good here for Blazer whatsoever. Cruel is just on the outside, on the outskirts, and really punishing anything Blazer is trying to do.
Yeah, he's just waiting for the perfect time to engage. We'll see. I think is he planning to get some Archons?
Will it be the case? But anyway, pushing on forward again, still more and more of these missile turrets. Still on the other side of the coin, we are going to get that science vessel that we have been talking about to provide that detection to begin with. But anyway, by this point in time, still these are the points on the eastern side. Here we go with the hits already. Vultures! Just completely in position. And Blazer is running out of room, running out of space, as Cruel is slowly but surely playing the creeping barrage. Finally, it's time to go for the aggression. Last-ditch effort, last strike. High Templar all charged up. Doesn't have the Psystorm though to really get anything done. Will it go for the push right now? Psystorm on the left-hand side. They do get the bust on. It's another huge storm onto those siege tanks, but there's just way too much in behind, and this is just gonna be the army falling on down. Cut can Blazer do next? He's not producing whatsoever. Psystorm right now looking for Crackle on. Siege tanks being built yet again. It's a set of Dragoons right now looking for a last stand of approach. And the High Templar duo. Archon might be into the field still. The Marine has been cycling around. It's still here though. Can't actually go for the front. I digress. This is basically the colossal fight here and now. The Siege tank surviving against the Psionic Storm. The Archon now gonna get summoned from those two high temp. But with the mines in position, it's time for Cruel to take the spoils of war and get with the push ongoing. Dragoons though coming on to the outskirts, immediately dying to a number of those mines. Siege tank right now reinforcing yet again. And with the shock cannons in arc-like position, it really is just such a hefty damage frame.
This will be GG soon, I think. I think he did well here.
It's Cruel with a pretty amazing victory. He never let up yet again. It really is just him with his standard pressure play. And even though eXoBLaZeR is trying to do the same thing on the top left this time, it is going to be Cruel defending. It is going to be Cruel making sure everything is fine and dandy. And the only thing right now that eXoBLaZeR has are those observers. Highly unfortunate in all kind of degrees. Dark Templar though have been warped in, but GG is called. BlaZeR knows that the DC cannot get close because the Science Vessel is there, and that is victory! Going over to Cruel.
That was good.
That was absolutely great, and a victory there for Cruel, taking that map number 2. But for you, Mizzle, what was really the biggest defining factor of that map?
Um, I think when he positioned his tanks on the ramp at the middle of the map, I think that's the starting point when he got good positions for his tanks and his units.
It's way too much to deal with, and again with the vultures flying pressure with the siege tanks just in the way in the first place, it has been an absolute slaughterhouse there from our mech player. So Cruel really showing that he's not out of the game yet, not out of the series, and it is all tied up 1-1. But before we go to our game number 3, we'll just be taking a quick little break. We'll be right back with game number 3 between Cruel and eXoBLaZeR. Okay guys, welcome back. Just needed to fix something up real quick on the admin side, but here we are and here we go. 2 maps down, and it is a 1-1 apiece. Mizzle has been a very interesting series so far, and the power of the Ninja expansion versus the power of the mech, we have seen both sides be able to get 1 map apiece. We are gonna go into a map number 3. Yes, Mr. Mizzle. Mr. Mizzle for Shizzle. Waiting on for you. You're still muted in the chat. But right here, right now, we are gonna see a third map coming our way. And it's gonna be very interesting pick again. So again, we mentioned it before that Mr. eXoBLaZeR likes picking these maps in Korean, and I have to figure out what map it is. And if I remember correctly, this map which one which one is it? If I remember correctly, it is the map of, was it Fighting Spirit or was it Bloody Ridge? I think it was Bloody Ridge. So yeah, it is Bloody Ridge coming our way next. The version 2.1 if need be, and yes, it is gonna be Bloody Ridge 2.1 for map number 3. It's hard sometimes. You see the thing and then it's all in Korean. Like, how do I read this? How do I even read this indeed? But let's move into our mat pool, ladies and gentlemen. It's Cruel right now versus eXoBLaZeR, down to the wire, really trying to gun at this in the first place. But anyway, by this point in time, well, we are gonna see how this one is gonna unfold into this matchup. So anyway, hey Mizzle, you still there? Or am I gonna go at this
Exactly.
alone?
Yep, I'm
Yes,
here.
yes, sir. So what do you think has been the defining factor or moment so far between our two players, and who do you think has the edge coming into this third game?
So based on what I saw since the beginning, Cruel is a very aggressive player, which is good, just to at least get a hold of his opponent's base. But I think eXoBLaZeR here really knows his timings, his builds. So I think well, yeah, just like what Panda said, my money is on my money is on eXoBLaZeR.
Yeah, so everyone's on the eXoBLaZeR train, but I've seen that Cruel is really able to bring in so much oppression with his mech-based composition. So I might root for him this time, just to be a little different from everyone else. Cruel has shown that on a even scale, it really feels like that he can really outmaneuver so many people with all the factories that he's been building. But enough about the speculation, let's get into the matchup instead, and let's see if the Industry of the Terran can really beat out the purity and basically the harmony that BlaZeR has gone on with the Protoss instead. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and here we are. Scoreline right here, right now, and it is all 1-1 apiece. It's gonna be very interesting here, Mr. Mizzle, how this one is gonna unfold, as we are gonna be introducing our players first and foremost on the northeast side of this map of Bloody Ridge. It is gonna be the Brown Terran of Cruel. And on the other side of the coin, on the bottom left, 7 o'clock position here for the Blue Protoss of eXoBLaZeR. So TVP yet again, Bloody Ridge, interesting map, very tight funnel to actually get into a main base. And BlaZeR already going for the scout, and the thing about this map is if you aren't paying attention, there is a whole new world that you can actually hide everything you want to build.
But the SCV spots the probe.
And it's time for BlaZeR to get on out. So it seems like BlaZeR looking for something a little different to try and win out a decider like this. Supply depot though being built to make sure that it is going to be Cruel getting into the next tier of tech and get a few more SCVs along the way. But the most important part right now, oh, bait and switch, surprise, the pylon is gone, and haha, nice scout indeed. Good realization there from Cruel, looking around his base just to make sure that BlaZeR isn't doing anything funky. Now it is going to be BlaZeR going for the pylon onto his base instead. Rack's gonna be online a little earlier, so honestly Cruel, from just a little antic like that, able to take a little bit of that timing away from BlaZeR in the first place.
Yeah. Dax, do you remember what you and Panda did on this map?
Yes, sir. I don't want to mention it as of yet until we get confirmation on that. But there is something you can really do with this funnel, and I don't think we're gonna see it anytime soon here, Mr. Mizzle. But basically, if you go for a forge and you go for a cannon rush, you can start things off here and really creep on in. But it really is all about securing this passage in the first place. Right here, right now, though, Blazer really giving chase. I can't even click the probe anymore because it's on the top right by the scoreboard. And Cruel gonna be noticing, okay, it's pretty much the same old here onto the main base of Blazer. And instead, you got what you're going to want in Gateway. You got your core coming online. You want to get your Dragoons ready to go. And for Cruel, he's going to be setting things up with a defensive reaction, having a Marine into tow, and putting a supply depot even on the eastern side just to make sure he can seal the gap to begin with.
Interesting. Is it? I think it's a very early cybernetic score, right? I think it's really interesting for me.
The cybernetic score is just so. The 1 gate 1 core is just something you really need to do sometimes, especially against a Terran. You want to get those Dragoons as quick as can be. And sure, it slows down your production instead of going for 2 gate first. At least you're not going to be stuck on Zealots who get kited or cannot really get close unless you really focus commits on a Citadel of a Dune. But hey, Factory right now looking to come online. It is going to be the 1-1 here to set things up before the expansion. And we are going to see a potential siege expand here from Cruel. He wants to set up all his components first before anything else. He already has that refinery set on up, getting some gas going on. And this should be a machine shop translating into a siege tank and a siege mode composition. Already 2 factories already, actually, for Mr. Cruel. Might be a little ambitious with all the economy he has as of the moment, but double pumping out those units might really pack a punch. SCB now going for a grand destination. It stole a crystal from the Protoss. It's like, neither, can't even catch me. Too fast, too furious there, as Cruel right now is making sure his front line is defended with 3 Marines in position.
Yeah, ninja moves by our SCV. If I remember it correctly, Brood War works as if you got a mineral, you'll be, how do you say that? You're like hovering.
Yeah,
Or
you
you
just
won't
get in the way.
be
You
blocking?
basically get, yeah, you get in the way of the mineral field, and you're just blocking your opponent. I think it also works in StarCraft too, huh? I've seen a few players do that here and there. Like, you just get in the way in the first place. You can't be mining, you can't have 2 workers mining the same mineral patch at the same time, and I've seen, like, the best Protoss players really just be pesky with the probe. And it might work out the same way in Brood War, because, like I said before, the probe has the best animation, basically in the turn rate to get minerals in the first place, having a little bit of the edge, giving the Protoss a little more economy in the long run. But now it's the hunt for the SCV, and eXoBLaZeR is just hounding this poor worker to begin with. We still do see Cruel though, moving on to that natural, making sure that he is able to come on out in the first place. It's now 3 Dragoons versus a good number of Marines versus 3 Dragoons, as well as a siege tank to boot. But we'll see how this one is going to pan out, because there we go with the range upgrade already going for the fights. It is going to be a little bit of a skirmish here, and now good micro though from Blazer to make sure that he is safe and sound. As soon as the Marines get in range, he's just kiting the opposition. An absolutely beautiful dance of the Dragoon. It's not going to be derpy whatsoever. Siege tank right now in a bad spot. Is this going to be a free kill? Yes,
no.
it is! What a shot
yeah.
there from the Dragoon in the first place, and just able to make it happen. Now looking for the retreat along the way. And this is going to be another skirmish. Surprise, surprise. Blazer, though, losing 2 immediately thanks to that HP value. But the DPS there, getting the damage done. And Cruel losing a lot of units that he didn't need to. What a stutter step there from Blazer. What movements. And the Dragoon stance, absolutely elegant on this map.
Yeah, that was cool. I mean, 3 Dragoons against how many units? That's a good deal, right?
Yes, sir. That's just the whole shebang there. The Dragoons have gotten the maximum value and more, taking care of the Marines, taking care of some siege tanks, and this will really stifle whatever Cruel wants to do, because he's not on two base as of yet. He's already on 2 factory with 2 machine shops to boot, and he's using that for tech, and he's using that for the reinforcements that he lost in the first place, and this will put him in such a hole that he'll have basically the same staying power at the very start of the game. But anyway, right here, right now, here comes the Vulture Strike yet again. You do see the Spider-Man though getting blown up by that one Dragoon Observer in position already, but still the Vultures can pack a punch against the workers to begin with. Now onto this side, Spider-Man still alive. We're gonna go on down in the middle of the map though. It is gonna be a Dragoon hit squad surprising the Vulture yet again. And even with all these mines set on up by the Vultures, it doesn't really matter so far because BlaZeR having the advantage, having the Observer in position, and looking to get the push. Perfect timing here, Mr. Mizzle, because Siege mode is not ready as of yet.
Yeah, actually, I was surprised that he did 2 factories with 2 control. What do you call that? 2 attachments.
Yeah.
So he will be delayed now.
Heavily delayed. He's unable to get that second base. The Dragoons force out the pull. And the thing to note is Cruel is using that double machine shop to get his upgrades up and running. But what is there to upgrade when you don't have units whatsoever? And the siege tank again dying! Cruel! This is such a cruel twist of fate right now. He was doing so good so far throughout the tournament, but this time it feels like his micro slipping. BlaZeR waking on up, really increasing on that APM, finding the timings, finding the movements, and absolutely beautiful control here from our blue Protoss. Anyway though, still the SCP is going back to the middle line, but he only has 5 army compared to the 21, 29 that BlaZeR has, and it's a hit squad of Dragoons! This has to be it! This has to be the game! There is no way for Cruel right now to come on back unless he gets a miracle with a siege tank or 2. It's nowhere to be seen. GG is called, and it is BlaZeR who moves on to the grand finals. Wala akong gas. Gas, no gas. Gas,
No
gas,
gas.
gas. One gas situation. And victory goes over to eXoBLaZeR. Well-deserved victory there, finding those opportunities. And honestly, the value on the Dragoons. Apparently, if you invest on Dragoons today, guys, you are gonna get your rewards tenfold later on by the 8-minute mark. Ridiculous. What do you think
That
about
was
that one, man? What do you think about that? How potent was just the micro there from BlaZeR? It was absolutely essential. This is
yeah.
huge. 3 Dragoons versus the world. He got that singularity charge, and it was enough for him to get maximum value. You can see that those Dragoons were surviving at the skin of their teeth as soon as the second wave came, and they immediately popped away. But well done there, the eXoBLaZeR, an absolute victory. On the third map, it could have gone either way overall through the series, but first things first, Circuit Breakers, eXoBLaZeR winning out with a Ninja expansion. Cruel just a little too questionable, honestly, in that decision to play onto the natural. Honestly, too ambitious for my liking, and I feel like if he played it a little more safe, it could have been a victory for him there. La Mancha, in the meantime, it was a Cruel show. Like, there is nothing to say bad about the game on game number 2. eXoBLaZeR unable to really play proactive whatsoever. Cruel playing his own style, his own pace, and that was just basically the best games that Cruel can offer when he's able to set on up with the mech and set on up with the punish. But on the other side of the coin, we got Bloody Ridge, which was like, I'm gonna give you my units now, and now I can't do anything, and we're done with the game. 8 minutes in, a very quick one. BlaZeR with complete control on Dragoons, and what a series it has been on that semifinals. It kind of ended out, it started with a bang and ended with a whimper kind of thing, but hey, at least we got the bang at the very beginning, and it was a whole shebang with that Ninja expansion. Good stuff. That was like, some really good stuff there, Mr. Mizzle. What do you think was your favorite parts of, that broadcast?
Um, I think this last game, I was really hoping for cheese from our Protoss player because it's the design of the map is really tricky. Like I was expecting him to um do proxy gateway maybe or proxy or maybe cannon rush, but yeah, I mean eXoBLaZeR is the master here, so he knows what's best for this map. So that's what I
Dude, he picks the Korean version of the map. Okay, so he already knows his stuff to begin with. I don't know if he actually picks it or if it's titled as such. I forgot already. But Bloody Ridge has been an absolute bloodbath so far that has really panned out in favor of a Blazer and a well-deserved victory there. Now, guys, we do have a few updates here and there that we need to discuss as we took a little break earlier on. And now we are going to have to do the same just before our potential grand finals, just before our potential third place match as well. We'll also be showing you a very, very important announcement coming into the future of SCPH, so you might wanna tune on in for that. But we will take a little break. Kudos to Mr. Mizzle for hopping into the casting boots, and we'll just fix up the tournament real quick, guys. We'll see you guys in just a bit. This is the SCPH Brood War League.